What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports. You're watching our Big Ten channel. Time for the Week 3 Power Rankings. And it was kind of a quiet week in the Big Ten. Really not a lot of, there were no conference games and not a lot of big games. Wisconsin disappointed against Washington State, but Iowa took care of business against Iowa State. So we'll start at the bottom here. Number 14, Nebraska. The only 0-2 team in the conference. The first half they looked pretty good against Colorado, but they got blown out in the second half. So just not a good performance there overall. They're 0-2. Look, do I think Nebraska will lose to Northwestern if they played today? Not really, but Northwestern, you got to give them some credit. They were underdogs this week, and they went out there and pulled off the upset. They beat UTEP 38-7, so I got to give them some credit. And at least for this week, I'm taking them out of that bottom spot. But for Nebraska, it's Jeff Sims and the turnovers. They have got to get that fixed, or they are going to have a really, really bad season. I still think this team has the pieces to have potentially a 6-6 type year, but I don't know. At this point, it's hard to say. Number 13, again, Northwestern. Really impressed. Their bounce back win here. Maybe Rutgers is actually pretty good. I will see, but at least for now, Northwestern in the win column. Number 12, Indiana got an easy win. Offense looked a whole lot better than it did against Ohio State, but obviously totally different competition. But number 11 here is Purdue. How about Purdue getting a big non-conference win in what was, one of the longest rain delays or weather delays you're going to see. It was like hours and hours and hours, but they did win this one. Got a touchdown in the fourth quarter to go ahead and win it. Hudson Card, the new quarterback here, has kind of been up and down. But overall, this was a good win. On the road at Virginia Tech, you've got to like that win. So Purdue, they move up, I think, a spot from where they were, or actually a couple spots. I think I had them at 13 last week. And then at number 10, we'll have Rutgers. So Rutgers, again, that Northwestern win looking better now. And they go out and have a strong, was it the fourth quarter when they scored all the points against Temple? And so, a good win for them. Not a great opponent, obviously, but, this is a Rutgers team that in the past would, so it was 13-0 at halftime, and they wound up scoring 23 points in the fourth quarter. But in the past, Rutgers would, sometimes lose a game like this, lose to a team like Temple. So they definitely have improved, and they are up to number 10. Number 9, Michigan State. They really haven't been that bad on the field. They haven't played anyone, but they've looked pretty good. But all the issues of Mel Tucker now, I don't even know where to rank this team. Are they going to fall apart? Are they going to rally around that and wind up being, playing really well the rest of the season? Hard to say, but for now, I'm keeping them down here at number 9. Number 8, Illinois. Tough loss against Kansas. Kansas is a good team, though, so I don't think this was a horrible performance. Again, they were going to get up against a really good team. And I like the fight. They tried to come back in this game at least a little bit, but Illinois down to number 8. Number 7, Wisconsin. Tough loss to Washington State. Kind of the same story. Fell behind, at least showed some fight. And I've been saying all along, I think this Wisconsin team is going to be a whole lot better in November than they are in September. Just all the new faces, all the new pieces coming together. Give them some time. I still think Wisconsin can have a really good season. Number 6, Maryland. Got behind early against Charlotte, but then they took care of business. Another easy win for them. We will see when the schedule gets a little tougher how good this team is. Minnesota at number 5. The offense has not been great so far for Minnesota, but the defense has been good, really good. Better than I expected it to be, honestly. And so you got to like the defense for Minnesota so far this season. The offense still has some work to do. They only put up 25 points against Eastern Michigan, but they held them to 6 points. So again, defense playing really well for Minnesota. Played really well against Nebraska as well. Offense, if they can get going on that side of the ball, watch out for the Golden Gophers. Number 4, though, Iowa. Now looks like maybe they're the best team in the Big Ten West. I think that division is going to be wide open, but you're seeing the offense at times look a little bit better than what we saw last year. The defense is still really, really good, and if the offense can continue to grow and get better, Iowa could be that team coming out of the Big Ten West. Ohio State at number 3. An easy win for them, although it wasn't super impressive against Youngstown State. At the end of the first quarter, this game was tied at 7. But you can't judge too much off of these. Actually, not at the end of the first quarter, but at one point in the first quarter, it was tied at 7. You can't judge too much off of these cupcake games because some teams don't always, maybe they don't show the whole playbook, or they don't get up for the game. You know, it's not the same team you're probably going to see in a big game, but I'm still waiting on this offense to get going, to see everything kind of come together for them. It hasn't been that way yet, but the defense has been improved, and that's the good news for the Buckeyes. Number 2, Michigan, kind of the same story as Ohio State in terms of opponents. At least they have played. Really, they haven't played anybody good. They just haven't. So we're kind of waiting to see about Michigan, and because we have not seen it yet, that's why I've got Penn State number 1, because we have seen it. They did it against West Virginia, a decent Power 5 opponent. They went out and dominated. I've talked about how this team really just has no question marks. Are they going to be able to go on the road and beat Ohio State, or are they going to be able to beat Michigan? I'm not ready to make that prediction just yet, but based off of what we've seen so far, the Nittany Lions have been the most impressive through 2 weeks. So how would you rank the teams of the Big Ten? Give me your rankings, your thoughts, your comments down below.